In this video, we're going to be going over the production possibility frontier. So the production possibility frontier, first I'm going to look at it in the most basic form, and then we'll kind of build the model and see what's going on. Let's say that in my backyard, I have a side yard, and I'm trying to determine what I can plant there. Trying to determine what I can plant there. And I've decided that I have enough room for 6 different plants, okay? And I'm considering some fig trees and some lemon trees. So obviously in each hole I can produce 1 fig tree or 1 lemon tree. 2 trees can't go into 1 hole. Okay, so if I wanted to come over and graph this, I could very easily say, let's put figs on the y-axis, so this is going to be figs up here, and then let's put lemons down here. Okay, and so the maximum amount of figs that I could possibly produce, let's say 6 figs, means that I'm going to be producing exactly 0 units of lemons. Okay, or I could produce 6 lemons, and then I would have exactly 0 figs. Okay, so if I simply connect these 2 lines, or these 2 points, to create a line, that is my production possibility frontier. Okay, so I can call this my PPF, my production possibility frontier. So that means that it creates a boundary in between what I can produce and what I can't produce. Okay, and I'll illustrate that like this. So let's say that I decide that I want to produce 3 figs. Okay, if I produce 3 figs, then I would be able to produce 3 units of lemons. Okay, if I decide that I want to produce 4 units of figs, then obviously I have to give up a unit of lemons, and now I would only be able to produce 2 units of lemons. So already we have a couple different possible points on our production possibility frontier. Okay, so we have 4 that I've already drawn, and we'll see that there are a couple more in there. Now these are different possible points of production. I could not produce 4 units of figs and 3 units of lemons. That would be this point right here, 4 units of figs and 3 units of lemons. This is a point of non-feasibility. We can't get there given our current resources. If I wanted to, I could produce 3 units of figs and 2 units of lemons, and I would be at this point right here, but we're going to call that a point of inefficiency. It's not efficient for me to produce there because I could produce more. So anything that's within the boundaries of the production possibility frontier represents some sort of unused resources or some source of unemployment, which is unused labor. Any point beyond our production possibility frontier, all this area out here, is stuff that hopefully someday I could possibly get to if we have some sort of economic growth. Okay, that's the most basic look at the production possibility frontier. Now let's build the model and see what's really something that we would use in economics to understand the production possibility frontier. Okay, so to start off with, let's look at the assumptions of the model. Okay, the assumptions. Our first assumption is that we are only going to be working with 2 goods. Okay, these 2 goods can be any 2 goods that we want. We could look at capital goods versus consumption goods. We could look at Medi-Cal spending and all other government programs. We could look at leisure and work activity, spending time, leisure versus work. All those different things would be 2 different goods, okay? Or we could simply look at figs versus lemons. The next assumption is that all of our resources are going to be fixed. So we're going to put a bar over resources. They're going to be fixed and fully employed. So we're going to have full employment, no lazy workers, no underemployed workers, full employment. Okay, and then the last assumption is that good 1 is going to be measured in terms of good 2. Okay, so we're not going to be looking at how many dollars it costs to produce lemons versus figs, or how much money I could make from lemons or figs. We're just going to be looking at the trade-off between the 2. So those are the assumptions of the model, and once we understand the assumptions of the model, we can move on to looking at a production possibility frontier that is something that we would actually um, see in a good economics book. Okay, so the next video in this series is going to look at guns and butter.